Damn it, Casey. Casey, you're giving my girl Monica trust issues. She's finally trusting people. She's finally happy. She's got a beaming, smiling face at the beginning of this episode when she discovers that Lana has given her a bunch of secret messages, and she's super happy and putting those messages down her drawer because she treasures them so much. And you got to give her trust issues. I'm so mad right now. I am so absolutely mad right now that we had to turn my Monica into having like somebody betray her out of nowhere. I hate it. I don't think that Casey is going to I don't think she's going to end up dead in the end. I just don't think so. Because the writer has already shown me that they're not willing to commit to even a side character dying when it comes to taking out Felix. They had literally this girl went after Felix's life, went to drop something on his head twice, and Felix sent her off as if she was just sick. Oh, I'm not going to put that on him. I'm going to let them go. I like when people try their hardest for somebody they love or something like that. I'm like, if you're willing to let that person go, Casey's fine. Casey's not dying. And I think with the appearance of Luis at the end, it kind of makes me believe that they're probably going to shuffle things in a little way, which I'm kind of curious will happen. My predictions currently. At some point, Luis is going to question what's going on, and Monica's going to say that she was just messing with something. Nothing really happened. Just to cover up for Casey. And then she'll take Casey off to the side with the idea that they both have a secret to keep themselves. Monica's going to be like, I know that you didn't mean to do this. I will help out your kingdom or whatever. We're going to find a way to keep them safe, but you can't do this. Don't ever do this again. And I'll keep this a secret. At the same time, Casey will keep her secret that she's a silent witch. And thus they can be side by side and have happy time at the place with that. It can also tie in with Luis. Because what they could end up having, because it seems like it's very odd that Luis just shows up out of nowhere right now. He could show up later on just fine. But he's showing up right now where the big question mark is what's going to happen to Casey now. Because she's telling Monica, don't look at me like that. I'm an evil criminal that tried to take the life of the prince. You're supposed to hate me. I think it could turn into a thing where the reason that Casey's doing this will change. Casey right now believes that Clockford, who is, backing Felix, will invade Landor, will end up destroying Landor on its way over to the Empire. Because apparently between the Kingdom of Riddle and the Empire is Landor, and Landor is the only kingdom that was helping her homeland from these dragons. So she wants to protect Landor. So with the idea that this is all going to be a way of stopping Clockford from destroying Landor, she has to take down the prince, it might turn into a thing where Casey discovers that it's not actually Landor that's been helping them. I mean, it would seem odd because you would think like it's knights and whatnot that are coming in there to help. It could turn into either a thing where Luis reveals the secret that Landor was not doing out of the goodness of their heart, or additionally, it could turn to an aspect where Luis himself reveals that somebody else helped them, and it wasn't technically Landor. It could turn into something like that, where essentially Casey loses the reason for not liking Felix, because I think ultimately, in the end, this is sort of revealing a bigger, darker secret of, Felix and what he's currently being pushed by, which is Clockford. They hinted at it before. Nobody seems to like Clockford. As much as Clockford is essentially backing our main prince character of the story, it doesn't seem like he's a good guy. And I do think that there's a lot of telling signs in this episode that Clockford himself is probably going to be an antagonist at some point in the story. That as the story progresses and we get Felix getting closer and closer to getting to the point of the throne, as Clockford is sort of laying out the red carpet for him, setting up his throne, dusting it off for him, helping him up, giving him a hand up the stairs, all that kind of stuff. And at some point where we basically push back. It seems like Felix is willing to accept everything that Clockford is saying. There seems to be a sign that Felix is not going to accept all that stuff. I'll become a puppet for him, but it doesn't seem like he's willing to accept everything. There does seem to be a sign of, even though he is weak, he is strong. There's an element in there of Felix of, I have to do this, I have to become king. And it's not for Clockford. Why is he so dead set on becoming king just to be a puppet to Clockford? I'll be his puppet because I had to become king. Why? What's happening that he feels he has to be king? And will that involve him rolling over for Clockford? I don't think so. I think there's a sign in there that he's willing to push back. He's going to do everything that Clockford says, but not everything. But from, obviously, again, Casey's perspective, no, this is a puppet. He's going to accept everything. And he won't be able to stop Clockford when that happens. I'm not sure about that. And again, that could be Lise, again, possibly bringing that to light. Him coming up there and saying, nope, I got you covered. Or nope, That's not going to be what they're doing. Or nope, that's not what Lander's doing. I think Luis is there to reveal something, because otherwise, why is he there? Besides maybe grabbing Casey, hoisting her off, and forcing her to do something else, and we all laugh that, haha, she's not dead, but he's probably going to do horrible things to her, or like force her to be his maid or something like that. Something like that. I don't know. I don't want her chucked out of the picture quite yet, but it could. But again, I don't trust the writer. The writer's already shown me that they're not willing to, actually have one of these criminals that are going after Felix's life actually get executed or something. But anyways, the episode. I should pretty much give all my perspective on what's going on with Casey. Anything else in the episode that we have to talk about? Again, I did like the beginning segment with her getting the letters from Lana. That was super cute. That smile. That smile that Monica had on her face when she put those letters down there. I was like, oh my gosh, my girl. Love this girl. But yes, we pop right into a little meeting between, well, first it was Casey, Lana, and Monica, and they were trying to feed her some food so she'd get better. And then out of nowhere, Claudia shows up and she's like, oh, you're mad that I'm here? But I was your lifesaver, right? You're grateful to me, right? And the entire time I'm thinking, weren't you the one that didn't want her to see you as a lifesaver? You literally said that when she was in the infirmary. Now it fits her that she wants to do this in order to be buddies, to be next to each other. It kind of makes me wonder why Claudia's being so chummy with Monica. I would assume at this point she's got a hint that she's not after Neil. I'm assuming that Claudia knows Monica is the Silent Witch. No doubt. It's going to be more likely now than ever because we have one person that already knows Monica's secret. I think Claudia is going to be the next one to reveal, I know. Because Monica already senses that she knows. So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch that she just knows already at this point and that she just wants to get chummy with the Silent. She's read all of our stuff. She probably is a massive fan of the Silent Witch. So I can see it. I can totally see it. But yeah, I'm hanging out, talking about the school festival coming up. Casey talking about embroidery and stuff and doing it because she likes doing it. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. I wonder if Casey really hated her. I don't think she does. But anyways, we get a little run-in with Cyril, and he's just blurting out everything the student council's doing before Claudia goes, you're leaking secrets about the student council to a third party? So that's where Neil is. He's with that hussy Bridget. Phase shifting to go attack them. But yeah, then Claudia decides to push Monica and Cyril to get on a first name basis. We're both Ashley. You can't call us both Ashley. I mean, she's using honorific, so it's like Ashley Sama and Ashley Chan or something like that. So it's like she technically could keep doing that, but it's just all just to push them and embarrass. Claudia's just trying to make them embarrassed. That's all she's doing. But anyways, that's when we get into the whole incident with Casey as Nero discovers there's some sort of mana fluctuation. So he goes to talk to Monica, and Monica goes with Casey to this little location to count inventory. And then at some point, a bunch of lumber goes to fall on Casey. Monica saves her life before realizing that Casey cut the string. This is like one of those moments where you kind of like, Monica's got to kick herself that she knows so much math and could analyze things like that, because as she's walking with Casey, she's like, girl, you cut the rope, didn't you? What are you doing? I looked at the rope. It was pre-cut. The traders couldn't do it because they can't bring blades in this location after the last incident. You had to have done it because it had to have done it within the last 15 seconds. You're the only person there. Why'd you do it? Yeah, I wanted it to fall on you because I've hated you forever. Question mark here. In the end, we find out that she's trying to divert Monica's attention from her actual goal. The reason why she was cutting the wires because she wanted to have the stuff fall on her so she has an alibi as this explosion happens, because she can't have them find out that she was the one that took his life. So this is all a plot for the alibi. But I wonder here, because what she does here is she goes, oh, well, I wanted the stuff to fall on you because I've always hated you. You're lying. Nope. I've hated you ever since the moment I met you. What are you hiding? Remember the day that we had the tea party? I threw away the tea. I knew that. Everything that she's saying right here, I hate you. No, you're lying. No, remember the tea party? I knew. She knows. Monica knows everything that Casey's doing. Which I love the tea party thing especially because that was something that I totally called back there when we were doing that episode impression. I'm like, wait, it couldn't have been Caroline and her lackeys because Monica didn't put her name on it. I noticed the papers that back there on the, you can check my impressions video. I totally called it. Casey wrote her name, put it on there. But the other paper Monica did, she just had it was folded. She never put her name on it. So my question I had back there was how did they know which one was Monica's because she never put a name on it? It's because it was Casey. And so Monica knew based on that. So nice breadcrumbing that the writer did here. that Monica knew back there Casey was the only one. The other thing that I kind of excused because it was Monica sort of not meeting people's expectations for the tea party, I thought that she was emotional and crying because she was failing to meet expectations. She was crying because it was Casey. Which I kind of want to go back there and check that episode again, because I'm kind of wondering if there was some sort of sign that Monica seen Casey and said, why are you being chummy with me because it was you? It never gave an impression there. So I'm assuming that Monica just tried to go, well, okay, I don't know why she's doing this, but just go along with what she's saying here. Because it's odd that Casey ends up providing her tea, which just all leads me to believe that the reason that she sabotaged Monica's tea is because she wanted to force Monica to have to ask her for help and thus get more closer to her. That it wasn't a case where, like, she's saying right here, I hated you, that's why I did the whole thing with the tea. Now, she could have been implying this whole thing, but I think it's really because she was trying to get closer and closer with Monica. I'll be there for her when she's getting bullied. I'll be at her side and help her out. Then she'll get closer to me, and I'll have more of an alibi. I'll be fitting in more with this entire school. Nobody will see me as an outsider because I have friends. We're having fun. Nobody would ever see me as an assassin. But here she keeps saying that she doesn't like her. She never liked her. I'm thinking that this is her trying to, again, create a misdirection. She's trying to sway the whole incident into it just being her hating Monica. Nobody will expect that she's just creating an alibi for that incident. It sucks. Anyways, Nero shows up. I like the fact that Monica has no fear for her life. Casey's got a blade and Monica just doesn't care. Like, yeah, whatever. So I'm not afraid. Because Nero shows up and he's like, I feel a disturbance at the warehouse. And she's just like, oh, your new outfit. You're like, yeah, I like it. It's pretty good. Wait, we're not the problem right now. But yeah, she senses it, finds out it's a spiral flame. Casey's like, what the heck? How do you know that's a spiral flame? Who the hell are you? And then, yes, Monica asks her, are you planning on assassinating the prince? Which, yeah, this is where we find out about the whole situation with Duke Clockford and him puppeteering Felix and the fact that she's trying to stop the prince, kill the prince so that he doesn't become king because then he'll be a puppet of Duke Clockford and they won't be able to stop the war. Again, I don't necessarily think that Felix will in the end become a puppet. Again, I think that that's possibly something they could reveal to her to sort of correct her current self of wanting to kill him. We'll see, though. Because I think the thing that stands out the most is that it says Landor came to our rescue in secret. I'm wondering, the fact that it's secret, I think Luis is going to reveal something. I for sure think he's going to reveal something. But the thing is, I don't know that Monica can reveal what happened because he might want to kill her, or at least have her gone, her family gone. But if it'll mean keeping in chummy with Monica, Luis might bend. Luis might actually bend. But anyway, she needs a deactivation code for the actual spiral flame, which this is interesting here. The spiral flame does seem to be some sort of device. It seems like it was enchanted in some sort of gem. But either way, it's kind of odd that Monica's response to this, because she can't get the code from Casey, she chooses to instead attack the school from the outside with a spell, which activates the barrier, which will allow Nero to be able to locate where the actual core is for the barrier, at which point Monica can go to that core, get past all the booby traps, have to summon a spirit door, a door to a spirit world, to summon a spirit king, to get rid of the thorns that are from the Witch of Thorns, before she can go up there and have to rewrite the entire thing several times in order to get it to compress and remove the oxygen from the spiral flame, and also rewrite it to activate within the barrier. Instead of going to the spiral flame and deactivating that, it's like, is the barrier sage's barrier easier to override than whatever is inside that gem? The only thing I can think of is the spiral flame gem is not... It's got to be some sort of code, isn't it? That she can override. It's fine. Don't think too hard on it. Don't think too hard on it. We just have to do something super crazy. That's all we have to do. We're just purposely doing something super crazy. Anyways, yeah, Monica decides to attack. I like the fact that Casey's like, wait, what'd you do? Okay, it's over here. All right, let's go. We're going over here. But yeah, as they're running, that's when Casey sees a side of Monica, her side profile, sees a look on Monica's face that's familiar. It's her three brothers that have all died to the dragons. And then they arrive at the barrier, discover that it's got a booby trap on it from the Witch of Thorns. And yeah, that was the point in which Casey realized that she messed up. Because Monica summons the spirit door and has to chant out that she is the Silent Witch. In order to command for the door to open, she has to give her name. She has to chant. And that was actually interesting to note that, yes, of all the things, she has learned to do chantless casting, but there are some things that you cannot do chantless, which would make sense. If you are summoning somebody from the spirit world, you will have to speak to them. That is not something you can just do voiceless. You have to call out for them. So that's actually an interesting note there. But again, the fact that she has to call out her name, it's like that cuts over to Casey and like, that was the moment Casey realized she effed up. That she was dealing with the silent witch the whole time. It's like every now and then she's kind of wondering, what the hell did you do? How'd you do that? It's like, yeah, this is a good sign that she's doing silent casting. But yeah, she takes out all the thorns, rewrites the barrier, absorbs all the oxygen from the flame itself, makes it fizzle out. Before, yeah, Monica turns to Casey, and Casey's like, no, don't. I'm a criminal. You're not supposed to have that look on your face. I'm a bad person. You're supposed to hate me. Oh, my poor Monica. She's like, my friend. But my friends. It sucks, dude. It sucks. It all sucks. Now, here's the interesting thing. Nero says, I'm going to have to leave the rest of you, and runs away. And then right then, boom, Ryan shows up with Luis. Does her famous entry by drop kicking from out of nowhere and slamming to the ground knee deep. I had to do a dramatic entrance. What's dramatic about being knee deep in dirt? Interesting that Nero ran away. Why? Now that I think about it, yeah, Nero's always around Rin, so it can't be Rin. I thought for a brief moment it might be Rin. He doesn't like Rin, but no, he's always in the room whenever Rin shows up. For some reason, Nero doesn't like Luis. He either doesn't like him or he doesn't want to be seen by Luis. And now that I think about it, in the first episode, Nero didn't pop up until Monica was done talking to Luis. They had that whole conversation with Luis and Rain in that room, and then finally when Luis left, Nero shows up. I'm wondering what the deal is there. Does he not want Luis to see him? Because he reveals himself in front of other people. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And he's in human form. And I would imagine that Luis is the only one that would be able to tell who he is. That's odd. Why doesn't he want Luis to know him? I wonder if Nero would end up being one of the other sages. That would be a cool twist, to find out that Nero is one of the other sages. I don't know that'll be the case because he hasn't really shown that he's super powerful or anything like that, but he could be hiding his power. I'm curious now. The more I think about this, the more I'm curious. The more I think about this, the more I'm curious. Anyways, yes, Luis shows up, says, yeah, I noticed that my berry was being messed with, and sure enough, it's one of my fellow sages. We'll see. We'll see. I hate that it stopped right here because I really want to know what happens to Casey. I don't want the writer to purposely be easy on Casey just because she is like a supporting character versus, again, like the random lady that tried to kill Felix twice that they just kind of let go on a sick leave. But I don't know. Again, I think it's going to turn into a case of misunderstanding about what happened with Landor. I know she's being manipulated, and they'll clarify that. And again, Monica and her having a secret will create sort of a bond of neither one of them telling people who they are. We'll see, though. That's my thoughts on episode 8 of Silent Witch. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to support more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.